Today marks the 14th anniversary of me and Cassie becoming entrepreneurs. And back during those times, nothing was more important than the desire that we had to be able to control and create our own reality. We were tired of working for other people, not making a lot of money, and basically wasting our life away where there was things that we wanted to do and accomplish that we knew if we continued down the path that we were on, we were never going to be able to succeed to do those things. And so, dropping Cassie off at Fred's Cafe so she could do her bartending gig, she said, let's start our own business. And that started off the path of where we are today. That desire has always existed, and it's massively important, right? It started off with, can we make enough money to where we can have a house, a car, be able to go on vacations, really just sustain life? Then it became, can we have a business that we enjoy running, not just about making money, right? Doing things that we actually enjoy doing. Then it became the desire to actually be inside of real estate investing, knowing that that was something that both of us adamantly wanted to do and achieve in our lifetimes. So the desire to learn about wholesaling real estate became the number one desire that we both had as entrepreneurs. And then it became the desire to be able to succeed, maybe a certain deal volume or dollar volume that we wanted to have inside of our business, to be able to scale the business to a certain degree to where we weren't sitting in each and every seat. Now to this day, I still have desires in business. I had the desire to grow and achieve goals that I have set for myself, whether way earlier in life or now after being an entrepreneur for 14 years, those goals have somewhat changed. They've become bigger and better goals because the reality has set in that it's not about can we succeed, it's what does success actually look like? How far can we push ourselves to succeed? But along the way, what had to exist was not just desire. It had to be the discipline to show up, the discipline to put in the work day in and day out, but then also the discipline to do things the right way, the discipline to not give up when things started going south, right? When things go wrong, that should be an expectation as an entrepreneur. So today, we're going to talk about the difference between having a desire for something, but also having the discipline to accomplish it as an entrepreneur. Because quite frankly, I think the majority of entrepreneurs have the desire to achieve something, but they look at it in such short runways, right? I have a desire to not work at my W-2 anymore. I have a desire to take care of my family running my own business. I have a desire to get into wholesaling real estate. It's what I want to do. I want nothing more than that. That's such a short-term way of thinking about being an entrepreneur. It's not about what you could do in 2025. It's about, are you able to continue doing this in 2030, 2035, 2040? Because that's really what you need to be looking at. And that is where discipline becomes the most crucial part of being an entrepreneur. I talk about it all the time, especially in my videos, consistent as a tree. And I said on the last time I talked about consistent as a tree, I somewhat get offended when people say that my greatest skill set is my consistency, because I feel like it takes away some of the skills that I have developed, whether in wholesaling or as an entrepreneur. But now I look at it and I go, honestly, it's one of the greatest compliments anyone can give you as an entrepreneur, because it's where most people actually fail, is having that discipline and having that consistency to show up day in and day out and have the discipline to do the necessary actions to achieve the results that you desire. See, lead generation is the foundation for a wholesaling business. Most wholesalers lack the discipline to consistently be generating leads for various different reasons. Budget gets tight, let's cut leads. We have too many deals under contract, let's cut back on leads. This is areas where wholesalers consistently make mistakes. They look at it and it's hard to have that discipline to say, our wholesaling business is going to be generating leads day in and day out. And the reason why is because moving on to the heartbeat of your wholesaling organization is acquisitions. Having the discipline to follow up with each and every lead, having the discipline to look at a lead, even when things might not be going right. And when you know the answer is a no from the seller, moving that lead to dead lead and truly being able to look at your CRM and saying, what money-making opportunities do I have sitting in front of me? See, when it comes to having standard operating procedures inside of your wholesaling business, it requires you, the owner, to have the discipline to follow those procedures. Not look at it and say, well, I'm the owner, I'm the entrepreneur, I can make whatever decision I want. Because that is where failure begins. Discipline is where success starts and lies in. You have to be consistently disciplined inside of your business. And then when it moves on to dispositions, this is where the money is truly made inside of your business, establishing those long-term relationships with your end buyers. Are you taking care of them? Do you have the discipline to make sure that you are always taking care of those end buyers so your wholesale business can still exist 5 years from now, 10 years from now? This is where you really need to internally look at yourself and say, is my desire strong enough to have that discipline for a week, a month, a year, a decade? Because if so, then you will succeed. But when you think about that, having the discipline when things get hard, when things aren't looking right, are you going to be disciplined enough to say, this is my new job? See, entrepreneurs want to create their own business so they don't have a job anymore. But you will always have a job. You're running your business. That is your responsibility. You are setting the standard and the culture for your own company. See, the majority of us, we come from another organization, another job where the culture was already pre-existing. We stepped in. The standard operating procedures were already there. They were handed to us and they were taught to us in our training. And so it's easy for us to follow that. It's another to be the one that establishes it and then has the discipline to make that a reality inside of your organization. Even if you're a solopreneur doing everything yourself, you still have to have procedures, processes, and have the discipline to follow those day in and day out. See, the desire can always exist. This is why you will see people say, I've been wanting to get into wholesaling for years. I've attempted wholesaling for years. It's the discipline to do the necessary actions day in and day out. And every single time I talk to a failed wholesaler or someone that is failing in wholesaling, I can point back to specific actions that they chose where they decided, I'm going to lack discipline right now. I'm going to make that choice because it's hard. Being an entrepreneur is hard. That is the decision that you are making, that you are going to make those hard decisions because in the long run, your business will be better for it. So I'm assuming if you're listening to this at this point, you have the desire to be successful. It is what you want probably more than anything. Truly ask yourself, do I have the discipline to do this day in, day out, no matter what? Will I consistently generate leads? Will I consistently talk to the sellers, follow up, and make the necessary choices that I need to make no matter what that outcome is? When I call a seller and their best option is to hire a realtor and list the property on the MLS, am I going to say that even though I'm investing my last dollars in that lead? Because that should be the culture of your organization. Because in the long run, whatever you need today will be slightly irrelevant. The needs that I had in 2015, I can't even remember. The needs and the absolute crushing stress and pressure that was on me in 2019 and 2020 feel like an afterthought at this point. And it all started when we prioritized discipline inside of our business. It's not just about showing up. It's about the ability to make split-second decisions to where this is how we always respond to these situations. And when you do that, that is how you can separate yourself from that seat, delegate out to someone else, and they can replicate you inside of your business. Because you have already said, this is how my company responds to each and every situation. So even if you are all by yourself inside of your business, start thinking like that. It's an honor to be able to be an entrepreneur for 14 years. This is always one of the most favorite days of the year for both myself and Cassie. It feels hard to believe, but then when I really think about it, it's hard for me to even remember what life was like before I wrote myself my paycheck. Show me some love, like today's video. Let me know where you are in your entrepreneurial journey in the comments. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow.